So the next step is to introduce yourself on Twitter with an initial tweet. Ideally, this should not be salesy. Opt instead for something catchy, funny, and/or helpful. And consider using an image relevant to your brand for that first tweet. Remember, this will be the first time people have seen your brand on Twitter. You don't want it to look like an annoying advertisement. Make that first impression a positive one. Once you've done that, it's time to start implementing your Twitter plan. Start drafting those daily tweets, and keep in mind this is about consistent social media exposure over time. Don't expect to become the biggest viral sensation on the web overnight, and don't be disappointed if and when you don't get much in the way of results in the very beginning. That will come later, but you have to stick to your plan. Here are some guidelines for your daily and weekly Twitter activities. Find a balance between promotional stuff and useful stuff, and lean more towards the latter. Throw a little bit of funny and entertaining into the mix from time to time as well. If you're out of ideas, don't hesitate to curate or share content from other entities like blog posts or articles, and always mention the source using the @sign. That @sign will notify the source of your post and can be a good way to foster goodwill and relationships. Another guideline is to include hashtags in most of your tweets. Make sure these are relevant and try not to throw in more than 2 or 3 in one tweet. Statistics show that if you include more than that, you risk annoying people and losing engagement. Also, be generous with retweets. Retweets are great because they're an easy way to fill your weekly tweet quota and can also foster goodwill and relationships with other Twitter users. Be sure to include a comment explaining why you're retweeting or what your thoughts are. The absolute key here is remain consistent. You've got to be doing this stuff every single day. If you're worried about not being able to keep up with it, or maybe staying consistent and avoiding procrastination is something that you struggle with, definitely consider checking out a resource like Warlord's Social Suite, which we mentioned in the last video. This will be a good way to take the amount of time you have to spend on Twitter each week and consolidate it into about a half hour or an hour every week, which will definitely help you stick to your Twitter marketing plan consistently. Once you've established a consistent routine, it'll be time to move on to the next video, which covers expanding your Twitter following.